This week on the podcast, from Disney Cruise Line entertainment to vacation grocery delivery, don't worry, it will all make sense when you hear the story of our two guests on this week's episode of the podcast. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us, but it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hey, Carrie.
Hello, pal.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Excellent. We're not alone.
We're not alone. We have friends today. Yay!
I love it when we have friends on the podcast.
Hi, yes. We're Jessica and Landon from Vacation Grocery Delivery.
You guys are so sweet, and I'm so glad you decided to join us. For everyone listening, Jessica and Landon are the owners and founders of vacationgrocerydelivery.com. Is it .com? It's .com.
FL.com. Yep, like Florida. The new Disney World. Yeah.
Nice. And you guys, I first met you when you delivered my groceries, and everybody who listens to the podcast knows that I'm always ordering water before I go to Walt Disney World, because that's all I do is drink tons of water. And I met you guys right after the pandemic when you were just kind of starting out this whole adventure.
Yeah, I think you were actually one of our first guests. Yeah, one of the very first. So that's so awesome. And it was just when it was the two of us. So that's super awesome. It's come full circle.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we were excited to have you join us on the podcast because I wanted to talk about, your business and how great it is. And it's been amazing to watch you grow. But even from before that and how you got started and where you came from. And it's such a great story. It's such a good feel-good story. So we thought it would be a good topic for the podcast.
Yeah, we're super excited to be here and chat. And like I said, we love you guys. And yeah, it sounds great.
Oh, Carrie, you feel the love?
Oh, shucks.
Okay, so why don't you tell us first, before the pandemic, you guys both worked directly for Disney.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were both performers. I was a performer at Walt Disney World for almost 10 years. Did a lot of different departments, but ended up in performing. And then went over to Disney Cruise Line right before the pandemic, where I met this guy.
Yeah, I worked for, what was it, 6 years?
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
Wow.
I was living up in New York and just auditioned, and yeah, Disney Cruise Line hit me up.
Yeah.
The rest was history.
Dancer, singer, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And what ships were you guys on?
I did the Wonder and the Magic. The Magic was my baby.
Yeah, we did the Magic together, and that's how we met. He was performing on the Disney Magic, and I was at Walt Disney World, and we had mutual friends and sailed and met, and we were kind of performing as each other's animated counterparts. Mm-hmm. So that was cute, and then met and hit it off, and a real life fairy tale.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. So you were performing in the stage shows on the dinner shows, the Broadway ones.
The shows in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time I was doing, I was performing Prince Charming, and there's just no way to say that without sounding like a prick, you know.
Very charming.
But I was doing Prince Charming and Twice Charmed on Board the Magic, and I was also doing Flynn Rider in Tangled the musical.
Oh my gosh, I can totally see you as Flynn.
Yeah. Oh yes.
I keep it long as an ode to it. Yeah, you know.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. We actually had on the podcast a while ago two of the performers. They were on The Wonder for a long time, weren't they, Carrie? Mm-hmm. Soul Duo, the musical act.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, they performed in the atrium and
yes.
things like that. Yes, they were awesome. Yeah, they were on our contract on the Magic for a while. That's very cool.
Yeah, they are so fantastic, and he is hilarious. So they were a fun interview as well. Okay, so tell me what this is like. Like, you must have crazy schedules, like morning to night when you're performing on the ship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cruise line was 70 hours every week. It was a lot of fun. You kind of spend your whole day with the the character team. So you do everything from like, you know, character breakfast and kind of get to stroll around the ship and meet kids. And then, you know, at night perform in the shows like for him and stuff like that. Got to,
yeah. I had a very spoiled life. It was maybe a 30-hour work week.
Lots of suntan time for him.
Most of that was taken up at the gym. I mean, just like staying in shape, you know, staying in condition so you could do the shows to the best of your ability. But you know, we would help take care of the character team and then conditioning and then whatever rehearsals we had on top of that. And then we would do the shows at night. Yeah. Up to 3 shows a day. Up to 7 days a week. Yeah.
Yeah, most days a week. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Hard work, but fun.
I'm sure. I never really thought about the conditioning part. Like, that makes so much sense, right? Like, you guys can't, like, if you were doing certain types of jobs, you'd really have to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Not like you need to take care of yourself if you're doing anything on the ship, I would expect. But if you were performing, right, you couldn't, you know, you'd have to be in tip-top shape.
Jumping off the stage and running up and down the house. And
you know, I couldn't get to like my number in the song and be like,
exactly.
All those days.
You
must need to be a little bit rested too, right? Like, so you wouldn't work. Maybe you wouldn't work so much because you know, they can't. You have to be able to perform. If you can't perform, they're like, Flynn Rider will be not in the show Tangled tonight. Instead,
we had some understudies that honestly performed the roles
amazing,
better than I could have. They were incredible guys. Really, they really were.
That's cool. I guess that makes sense too, that there's understudies.
It's good that way, though. You get like so close to everybody in your cast and on the ship.
Yeah, you live on the same hall as everybody. I mean, you know your neighbor. I mean, it really was like a once in a lifetime kind of experience.
Yeah, adult life, college dorm. You all just kind of sit and hang out after the shows together. It's really such a unique experience, and then you get to see the world during the day. Mm-hmm. We were fortunate to be on the Europe contract on the Magic, so we got to go to a bunch of different countries and travel places I never thought I'd get to go. So that was really, really cool.
Eating restaurants in Italy, and then like hiking the fjords in Norway. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So cool. Yeah.
What an experience. I'm still at the part where you worked a 30-hour week and she worked a 70-hour week.
Yeah, well, he made up for it because the whole year I don't think I did laundry a single time. Like he did all of the, you know, proverbial housework in our cruise cabin. So it evened out. It evened out.
I had the time to.
Yeah, and that's quite a test of your relationship if you were staying in those cabins. Just like there's no space to walk away.
Yeah.
Even before we were very business minded, we were very you know, not to sound a little on the nose, but simpatico.
Yes, definitely. And that helped. We got engaged during the contract. He surprised me. One of our port days in Spain before work, he proposed and he said, if we can do a cruise contract together, we can do anything. So that held up to be true.
Oh, that's awesome. So sweet. So you proposed in Spain. Imagine that. You can just, you have that option.
Yeah.
No, the year before she had sailed with me, and I remember her saying that she thought this one area was the most beautiful place that she'd ever seen. And so I said, all right. I said, when we go back there, I'm going to make sure it happens.
Sure did. He did. He remembered. Yeah, that was amazing. Truly worth the whole contract just for that moment. But it was really cool.
Wow. He was paying attention. That's good.
He was. He's learned a thing or two. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. That's fantastic. When so you both worked on Disney Cruise Line for a number of years together, but Jessica, you worked at Walt Disney World. Landon, you didn't. You only worked on the cruise line.
Yep.
Got it. What was the big difference for you, Jessica, between working on land for Disney and working on the cruise? Like, if you had to pick one, which one was more?
Ooh, I think it's so hard to pick because I love the quality of entertainment on Disney Cruise Line so much. I think it's unmatched because the people that commit their life to doing an entire contract at sea. And with as much as you work and things like that, you really don't get a lot of time to yourself. That it really is like the most talented group of people that you could work with. So it's really fulfilling, and you get to see the same guest every single day for like a week or two, where at Walt Disney World, you might meet an amazing family, but you're probably never going to see them again. But with cruise line, it's really cool because you could really connect. So I did love that part a lot better. But also at World, you can go home and go to Taco Bell on the way out. And so you can't get that on cruise line. So
the crew mess can do it for you.
The tacos were not quite the same. So I think it really is apples and oranges. But with having a partner there, cruise line was really great to do. It was a lot of fun.
Are the contracts for that type of entertainment different than like the other contracts? Like the people that do other things on the job, are they longer, or on the ship, are they longer or different?
Typically longer.
Yeah, quite a bit. Ours was almost a full year, including rehearsal time. It was
That's what I was wondering, because you have to rehearse and get ready for the productions. Like they can't be like in a couple months be like, okay, next group.
It's been a while since we've been out, so don't quote me on this, but I feel like most of the contracts on board the ship were roughly 3 months.
Yeah, like servers, housekeeping staff, it's like 3 to 4 months, so it's about half.
So when we got on board, I think our contract, I think we had like almost 8 months on board the ship. So, I mean, you were on there long enough to see people come, go, come again, and leave again.
Wow.
Yeah,
and where did you do your rehearsals? You said before you got on the ship that you did the rehearsals. Where was that?
Toronto.
That's where we are.
I knew it.
We've heard that happens up here, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, I love Toronto so much.
Same.
Canada has my heart. They really do.
Yep. That is one of the best parts of the whole contract is the rehearsals in Toronto. It's so much fun. And it's such a great city to get to explore and like learn your castmates and things like that too after rehearsal. So that's a lot of fun.
You must have been here in the summer.
Yeah, it was like a spring. Oh, well, you've done some winter. Mine was
even for
cold.
I got there in February. It was freezing.
I was in April.
I was like regularly living in New York at the time, which, like, don't get me wrong, is like New York's not like 90 degrees year round, but Toronto was, oh my God, it was cold. That wind would blow and it would just, it would burn. It was freezing.
Yep. We live where the wind hurts your face.
Are you in Toronto? I know you're in Canada, right? But I don't know what part.
Yeah, I'm in Toronto proper, so I'm like
beautiful
20 minutes from downtown. Carrie's just outside of Toronto. She says it's very close, but it's a drive.
Yeah, no, they have a building right outside the CBC building? The
BBC building, right?
No, that's British.
Yeah, the CBC,
Yes, right across the street.
It was right there in the downtown area. I mean, it was gorgeous.
So you do it at the Western Harbor. Not the Western Harbor Club? That's even farther. The convention center is right across the road from the CBC building. Is it?
Yeah, it was close to. I mean, it was like
that same block.
It was less than a 5-minute walk to the CC and
I don't know what it's called.
CN Tower.
Yeah.
Because you're close to the lake. That wind in the winter would you were near the.
Yeah, Blue Jay Stadium was right there.
Yeah.
You guys are right in the middle. That would be a great experience, like just being plopped into the center of the city for.
Yeah.
The theaters were all right there.
We got to go see a lot of shows.
It's truly spectacular.
That's awesome.
It's such a great opportunity that Disney provides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knew?
Who knew? See, we don't get invited to these things in Toronto.
No.
We should go petition.
Do they need anybody that's going to be like the sweeper in the scene or something? Or
I mean, I don't know what we could work out. I mean, kind of like off the podcast, but like, I mean, they do sometimes have like invited dress rehearsals up there.
That's true. Yeah.
For the shows and stuff that they have. I mean,
can you imagine, Carrie? Yeah.
You'd be like, bravo.
Just walk in with a clipboard, act like you're there to take notes. No question.
I mean,
I like what you did there. I like what you did there.
It really is a cool thing to see, like, what what it turns from just like, a stage and, just like a couple props here and there to like what it becomes once it hits the ships and they add all the technical elements. I mean, it's truly something magical. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. Those shows on the ships are incredible. Like I don't do Broadway shows, anything like that, but I make sure when I'm on the cruise that I see the shows because they are unbelievable. But you got to tell me, how do you handle it on a rocky night? Because you're running back and forth, you're all over the place, and it's some of those nights you're sitting in the theater and you're thinking, how are they doing this? Because I can feel myself swaying.
Yeah, I remember the most fun at the start of Tangled, Flynn Rider starts, suspended in the air, so that when the cruise director is done with his speech, and then the curtain goes up, and then he gets kind of like dropped down from the ceiling, and there would be nights where I would just be swinging up there. Like,
oh my gosh!
Like, but the ship has very specific safety precautions, and if the stage manager or anyone in the cast ever feels like that anyone's safety or the performers are in danger in any way, or if the show conditions might become unsafe because of the rocking, there are a lot of procedures that we follow to make sure that the performers are kept safe.
Yeah, but it makes it fun.
But there were times I would the ship would be rocking and I'd jump off the stage and then it would go down and that distance was a little bit...
you don't realize how much the ship moves when you're in the air, so you're falling much farther than you think you're falling.
There were times that those knees would hit and I'd go, okay, we're doing this.
I can't even imagine, Carrie. We have a hard enough time
I can't even walk straight. Yeah, forget about singing and dancing and jumping.
It puts you to sleep, man, especially...
I do miss that.
My cabin was at the very front of the ship. I mean, so you felt everything.
Yeah.
You also heard the anchor drop at 5:30 in the morning whenever we ported, so...
Oh.
Yeah, I don't miss that as much.
No.
We're right above where the anchor is. But the rocking really was really peaceful. I do miss that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with a lot of the friends that you made on board?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
We just saw one of them up in New York recently when we were sitting there. Yeah.
Honestly, several of them have become our very best friend. One of them also works for Vacation Grocery Delivery, Destiny, who we met on the ship day one, because she's also from Orlando, also performed at Disney World. Weirdly enough, we never met doing that, even though we probably crossed paths. But day one at the airport to fly to Toronto, it was the two of us. And so we explored Toronto together that first day, and we've been best friends ever since.
Oh my gosh, that's so fantastic. Now, when you were working in Walt Disney World, what park were you? Were you in a park or?
I did. I have worked in all four. And I actually worked the water parks too, way back 11 years ago. When I did merchandise for a summer there, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I kind of could pick up anywhere. Entertainment is what we call global. So you can just sort of, wherever there's somebody in the character team, you can sort of pop in and fill in there. So that was really cool. But most of my time was at Magic Kingdom, which is really, really cool.
I feel like that's the park with all the magic.
Mm-hmm. A lot of late nights in Cinderella Castle, and nothing beats it. Watching fireworks from inside the castle is actually really, really cool.
Yeah. Oh, that would be. Oh, that's so exciting. Are you both? So you said, Landon, that you're from New York. Were you born in New York?
I was born in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Durham, North Carolina. And I went to East Carolina University for a degree. I got my BFA in musical theater. And from there, I jumped up to Cedar Point in Ohio for a hot second.
Okay, Cedar Point.
Great part. I will rave about Cedar Point, man. But then, moved from there to New York and, just kind of spent my time figuring things out. And
a lot of auditions and that whole scene.
Yeah, no, my audition for Disney Cruise Line, was the funniest thing ever. I was in the bathroom right beforehand, and I remember because, I was auditioning. I knew I was auditioning for Flynn Rider, and I was like, I know I fit this part. And if I can just get it. And this guy comes into the bathroom, whom later on I would figure out was the casting director of Disney Cruise Line. And I was sitting there in the mirror, and I was wearing khakis and a green button down. And I kept tucking my shirt in and then untucking it. And this guy was just like,
so nervous.
I was like, what? Yeah, I was so anxious. But he was like, what are you doing? And I was just like, I have an audition right now, and I just don't know whether the shirt looks, better tucked in or not. And he was just like, oh, go with your gut. He said something, I don't know. Yeah. But then I walked in the room, later that day, and he was sitting there, and I was like,
okay, well, it worked out.
I got my audition done, and I was about to leave the room, and he goes, Landon? And I go, yeah. And he goes, would have been better if your shirt had been untucked. 2 weeks later, I got a call, and the rest was history. And
yeah, that's so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
And they made you look for it, though.
They were so kind, though. I mean, it's great.
Yeah. Oh, and Jessica, you grew up in Florida, or?
More or less Florida. I kind of moved all over the United States growing up, but my mom actually started working for Disney right out of college. So she went to University of Central Florida and was in entertainment as well, and did film and television, worked on like the Mickey Mouse Club and stuff like that. So it was kind of just like the natural progression. So Florida is kind of where I've always called home, other than like going away for college for myself and stuff like that. So
you have like the Disney working in your blood.
Yeah, absolutely. Dynasty. It really is. Yeah, aunts and uncles all with the company, and it is awesome. My little brother is very excited to finally be able to drive, because he wants to audition, and he's really into theater. So he's kind of the next step.
It's a real family affair. Mm-hmm. It's funny because we know other cast members. Same thing. Like I met a cast member who worked in the Magic Kingdom, and her brother, her father, her son, like everybody worked in some capacity with Disney. But I guess, if you're living in Orlando, chances are good that a good part of your family's working there.
Yeah.
It's so true, but it is awesome. And it's a great way to meet people and connect with like the local community, which was like the best part, truly. And it really kind of set ourselves up for wanting to call this like our home base pretty indefinitely. Maybe retire in Toronto, though. That's tempting, but we're now in Florida.
It wasn't. I was in rehearsal in Toronto when the pandemic really hit.
Mm-hmm.
And we had just gotten married. Like right before that, because we knew COVID was coming, but we didn't know how bad or what
it even was.
Yeah, what the ramifications were going to be, and I just been talking to HR, and we had like celebrations planned and weddings planned, because we were going to do like a main celebration, and then we were going to have something up in North Carolina, or New York and Florida.
In Florida, yeah.
But I was talking to HR, and they were like, "Listen, COVID's coming," and they were like, you might have an easier time like getting her to you, if she's not just, your girlfriend. And I was
fiance.
Or fiance. Yeah. And so we were like, Disney called me. We made preparations. We went down to the courthouse. We got married, and then.
Yeah, called everything off, and that way we could do like the contract, or I could be there at the same time because he was doing another one, but I didn't want to do another full contract. And then the pandemic hit, and we got home anyway.
And so when the pandemic hit, we were given, it was like, okay, we can either go back to our apartment in New York, or we can come down here where her family was. And so we were like, at the time, New York was just like, maybe not.
Yeah. A lot of people for that. So we came here.
Yeah, we came here and we set up shop, and we said, no, it's not so bad.
Yeah, we're big fans.
Yeah.
So wait a second. So when the pandemic hit, you got married. Did you get married in Florida, or where in the courthouse in Florida?
Yep, Orlando, sure did. Yep. We had to scrap our actual wedding plans, all three, like parties, ceremonies, everything, with like our different friends and family all over. And that way he could get up to Toronto, and then I could join him shortly after. And not even 2 weeks later, because this was February of 2020 is when we got married. And 2 weeks later, like the borders closed and everything shut down. So our first year of marriage, we got to just sort of hang out and
Oh yeah.
it was crazy.
That's insane. Like when you think back to February, because Carrie and I were actually on, we were on the Dream. Mm-hmm. We were on the Dream in January, at the end of January 2020, and we both came home sick. And we're convinced, well, I'm convinced that we had like the first COVID, the first round, because we've never been so sick. But that was just before then, because I went back to work. Like at that time, you didn't even think anything of it. I went back to work with a cold and I still wasn't feeling great. But and then the world shut down, I guess, in February.
Yeah, that's exactly. It was the most crazy whirlwind of a month of like, running to the courthouse, scrapping our plans, moving our things up from New York, jumping up to Toronto, back to Florida to move our things back. It was crazy.
To be fair, Disney gave me like 3 days to decide.
That's true, on the contract. It was a very quick, like, we need to know yes or no. So it was kind of like, it's all right. It all worked out for a reason, though. It really did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what was it like? So they just said to you, okay, we're canceling all cruises. We're sending you home. Yeah. Until further notice, you just sit and wait for a call?
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what happened. It wasn't a lot of notice, but we didn't really know. We still didn't really understand, like, are we coming back or not? And I think they didn't really know either.
It's hard to say whether or not, like, they just weren't telling us things or whether they just didn't know themselves, because it's a big company, and I can only imagine the stress that like management deals with in terms of like the information and the responsibility that gets passed around.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was crazy. It was basically overnight, like, all right, everybody, we're going home. Like, we're flying out the next day. Some people same day. It was absolutely nuts.
People did get called in and they were like, your contracts are done. You have to go home. The United States has closed the border.
Our flights had to get bumped to the next day because there was a curfew in Orlando at the time. And our flights that they gave us were scheduled to come in at like 10 p.m. And we would have had to have stayed in the airport that night. So they were fortunate to let us stay in Toronto till the following morning so we could fly out, because that was when it was getting really bad. But we made it back and kind of set up shop, and here we are.
It's crazy to think about. It seems like yesterday, but sometimes it feels like it was decades ago. Like,
it's so true. Yeah. And so much has happened since then, just, everything, business and the world and life and everything. So it seems like so long ago too.
And it was such a time where that's when that Ear for Each Other group on Facebook kind of started, where cast members were posting about they had been laid off and they needed help. Like, there were lots of cast members that needed help, and they were coming together to help each other. And someone started this group, and then they started reaching out to different cast members and stuff. And I think that's how I kind of found you guys. So how did this start? How did you come up with the idea? And why this? Why groceries?
Yeah.
How did this come to be?
Absolutely. Yeah. We ask ourselves that a lot sometimes too, of how it really just kind of came out of nothing. I think you actually had the idea, though. I think you heard it on the radio. Right? That Disney finally had started opening back up.
I was like, we were rescuing cats at the time, because
now we're talking.
We just had to keep busy, and I was like on the way back from a vet appointment, and I was listening to NPR, and NPR had announced that Disney World was like fully at full capacity for the time, at least, since the pandemic began. And your mother ran like a successful travel agent, and she was like, oh, people are always looking for grocery deliveries, and so at the time we were just doing any job we could to get by. Walking dogs,
handyman work.
I was like a freelance handyman,
picking up kids from school
with my BFA in musical theater.
We were doing anything just to not sit still. We just didn't want to.
Oh, bills had to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I told her, I was like, why don't we make a Facebook page? We can do this thing. We'll just do it on weekends. It'll help supplement our retirement. Oh God, but I don't know what we call it.
What do we call it?
Vacation grocery delivery. I guess that's like self-explanatory, you know.
Yeah, as basic and simple as we can think of.
It really was like a joke. It wasn't supposed to be the thing that it is now. We just wanted something like simple that people wouldn't have to like really think about.
Yeah.
That we could just
offer a service and offer help. And we didn't mind being out, you know, shot, like we were young and healthy and everything. And for those that were traveling, but still didn't want to eat out in the restaurants and things like that, like we can help with that. Like we can bring food to you. Like we can do that fine. Yeah, I mean, and then it kind of just
spiraled.
Yeah, spiraled from there for Truly. Sure.
It's crazy to think of how quickly it grew.
I mean, we laugh sometimes. We think back to the point, you know, that it was very stressful for us to do like 6 orders in a day.
Yeah, because it was just the two of us. Like I would write them down on a paper agenda. You know, I have Bob Ross on Monday at noon at the Polynesian. His name.
So I'd like some grapes. And,
yes, everything. But, you know, everything. And now it's just like we have 10 incredible employees that all impacted cast members. We're doing hundreds of orders a week. Like we are.
Yeah, now like, it's like nothing for our team to do 40 orders in a day.
Easy.
I mean, easy.
Yeah. And that's just crazy to think about. We stressed when we had like 6 orders, but we didn't want to turn anybody away. So, you know, we wanted to help as many people as we could. And so we worked, that first year was, oh my goodness.
We worked 16-hour days, pretty much 7 days a week for about a year and a half straight.
We lived out of the car and lots of Taco Bell, you know, on the road, because we were just in the car all day, back and forth from Publix. But it was great because we still got to work together, which was priceless, because we got to do that with Cruise Line. And then we kind of one day we were really stressing about a really busy week coming up, and Landon kind of was like,
oh no, it was we were just burnt out
and tired and
we were just burnt out, and we were like oh, we're just gonna have to close like Monday every week.
Yeah, like we didn't want
to take some time off because we're just like so exhausted. And I just like looked at her and I was like, what? What if we hired someone?
Yeah, why don't we bring on other people? Like, other people would love, you know.
It had never crossed our minds. We never thought that it would be able to grow. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know. It's really been like a beautiful thing. Like,
it's been awesome. Yeah. Created other jobs and have this amazing team that all get to do this, and it's a lot of fun. You know,
a lot of performers. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But a lot of other performers, you know, that were friends of ours were still out of work, and so we said, hey, you know,
come on,
we've got excess, you know, orders here. Like, come work for us, you know, until, you know, you can either get back on your feet or Disney gives you a call back or anything. I mean, like all the princesses and everything that were out of work.
Yeah.
Because the parks reopened. If you remember right, the parks reopened, and I mean, and these people didn't come back for a while.
Yeah. Right? So it was cool. It got to be like a very, you know, like low stress, but like very impactful, because we still got to connect with Disney guests and things like that, because that was the big thing too, is not only being performers that didn't get to perform every day, but also Disney cast members that our whole thing is that like we want to talk to people and connect with people and things like that. So it was really, really cool that we were then able to share that with other people too. And we have several that have been with us for over a year now, which is awesome. And we're going to get them their 1-year pins like Disney does. And we're very excited.
But I just think back to our inception, and it's just like, you know, like you think like Hannah and everyone who was just like, hey, I got my, like, you know, they would work for us for a couple months, and they'd be like, hey, I got my call back. And we were like,
we're so happy for them. Yeah. It was
go
really
get them. Cool. You know, like we'll be there for, you know, just to meet you. Like, I mean, it was amazing, really.
Yeah. It's been very cool. The people that have gotten to sort of, even that just stepped in for a few months because they just needed to get by until their shows came back or their performance calls came back. And yeah, it's been really awesome.
Yeah, we felt it was something that was important to us, and the public seemed to respond really well. So we wanted to continue that mission. That every single, you know, person that works for us either is still working for Disney or is a former
cast member.
And I think it's created, I mean, just like a really beautiful work environment, and the amount of like empathy we have for each other, and understanding just purely based off the fact that, you know, we all have like a similar employment background.
Yeah. And we all went through the same kind of thing together, and we all enjoy doing the same thing and making an impact in the same way. And so it's very easy to just sort of like, you know, kind of go through your day and not even realize it's work. Like, I never thought I would say how much we like love working. We're actually going on vacation next week, and at dinner tonight I was like, I'm excited, but I'm also kind of bummed because I don't want to step away for a week.
Now the fun part is, where do you go to vacation?
Right now, I know that's always so funny because we do actually staycation around Disney in Orlando a lot because that's so much fun. This time though, we're actually going to Switzerland. We're super excited.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to get a little bit cold in before that Florida heat sets in, and then we're outside in the summer. Yeah, so we're actually going to go to the Swiss Alps and just kind of explore in different scenery. So we're really excited.
Wow, that's amazing.
We're going to see the Matterhorn.
Yes, the Matterhorn. Like,
oh, so you see the real Matterhorn?
Of course, yes. That was really the main motivation.
So so I can't skim over it. I have to go back to it because Carrie will never forgive me if I don't. The cat rescue.
You still have the cats? Do you just own like 10 of them now?
Yeah, well, we have for ourselves, but in pre-vacation grocery delivery, our first like pandemic hobby, I guess, we started a nonprofit cat rescue called Kingdom Cat Rescue, like the Magic Kingdom. And I guess this is just a habit of ours, starting something very nonchalantly, like we'll just foster. We have an empty house and we're bored. Let's rescue a kitten. We created a full-fledged 501c nonprofit and rescued like 300 kittens in 2020.
Oh my goodness.
All of which came through our house.
Her mother-in-law adopted.
She has 4 now.
4 of them from us. So
if you ever need a furry feline friend, yes. Then yes, we are the place. We are the place to be because we love our little fur friends. We have our 4 cats and absolutely love them. That was challenging and hard, but we absolutely loved it.
I mean, we still dabble. I mean, we just got 7.
Yeah, we did just have 7 fosters that got adopted out, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and like I can't. That's busy enough, and you have your business and you're fostering. You're raising the next generation of kitty babies.
Yeah, it's good work, you know.
It is.
I loved them all. I really did. Yeah.
But yeah, with you know, the business being as busy as it is, we aren't doing that nearly as much as we were. But in 2020, we were the cat people. Our poor friends with cat allergies could not come anywhere near us for like the whole year.
Good riddance.
Carrie's a cat person through and through. She loves her cats.
You have to go out for dinner then. They can't come over.
Yeah.
We have one that's almost made their way into the camp.
Oh yeah, she's tried a few times. Yeah. I've tried to like shoo her away.
It's all right. There's always cats around, yeah.
Carrie's cat, Figaro or Charming, either one of them make an appearance. Yeah.
I love that. That is
I always have a I have all tuxedo cats right now. That's my thing.
Oh, that's Landon's favorite. Or little tuxedo.
I want a tuxedo so bad.
My very first cat was we always had gray tabbies when we were like tabbies, and then when I got my own cat, it was a tuxedo, and his name was Buddy Love, and we loved him so much. We got another tuxedo. She wasn't like Buddy Love, but whatever. We're already 2 in. We got another cat. It's a tuxedo, so we just collect tuxedo cats. That's what we do around here.
They're the best.
Oddly enough, I was the cat person when we met. You know, she had her dog who is like my love child now. Mm-hmm. But I was the one that really wanted cats, and she was like, and so then it started off as 1, which turned into 3, which turned into 4. And
I draw the line at 4.
And now she's the cat woman. You know, you have one whose name is Luke.
And my baby. Yep.
That cat loves her more than it could not care less about me.
That's
less about me.
It's okay. My dog now loves you more than me, so it evens out.
It works out.
We're
awesome.
big animal people too, for sure. Yeah, and there was a great facet of Ear for Each Other too. More so local to Orlando, that was helping cats and dogs in need, and it was basically cast members all like donating supplies to each other in the pandemic, and that was really, really cool to sort of help, and with the nonprofit able to like do a little bit with that too, which was an unexpected, thing, but that was really awesome.
It was quite a community online. So we should talk more about your business. So because, I could talk to you guys for hours. So Vacation Grocery Delivery, FL.com. So anybody that's coming down to Florida, I'm assuming Universal, do you do Universal resorts as well?
Yep. Really the whole Orlando resort area, a lot of, those chain hotels and resorts as well. We do, all of the Margaritaville 192 area to a lot of that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I didn't realize you went that far as like down to Margaritaville as well.
We're starting to branch out more in that area this year too. We have a lot of like expanse coming that we're really excited about. But that will be sort of moving more into that area. Hopefully by like fall and stuff, we'll offer a lot more of that area too.
Nice. So let's talk about how it works. So for people listening, they're coming down, they're going to Florida, they want to go order some groceries ahead of time. So they go to your website first?
Yes. And you can go on the website. There's a menu under just like the shop page, and it's set up very similar to an Instacart kind of thing, where you can pick, it's more generic items that you select first, and then you can kind of put in exactly what you want. And so the great part is that you're not limited to just a small menu. We can shop at multiple stores and things like that, all for the same price, same service. And then you can really get as detailed as you want. We understand that there are families with special needs, with food allergies, with kids that only eat certain things, and that's totally fine. It is as flexible as you need it to be. And then you check out, reserve your date, and you just sort of select your resort from a drop-down menu. Yep. You don't have to worry about having like the address and things like that, like you do with Instacart.
Or your room number or anything like that.
Yeah, nope. It's much, much simpler and streamlined, which we think is awesome for the guest side of things.
And our whole thing is that it's a flat delivery fee. We don't mark up any of the groceries. So, I mean, whatever we pay for at the store, we let you know, and then it's just our flat delivery fee on top of that.
Yeah.
So it's as much as or as little as you want.
Yeah, we have a lot of guests that just order a case of water because they just want to stay hydrated, and that's great. Okay. There's no minimum. But then we have guests that are ordering for a family reunion and are here for 2 weeks. And so they're spending, they're in like a 2-bedroom villa or a grand villa or something. And so they're ordering tons, and that's totally fine.
Our record order the other week was it was almost like
$1,200. It was a family reunion trip. Yeah.
It filled up an entire car by itself. I mean,
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But that's still just the flat rate.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say, come on, you should have charged them more than that.
We're here for the people.
Oh my goodness. So you'll shop. So where do you primarily shop? Where is it usually, like Publix, or is Publix usually your store?
That's our main one. Obviously that's just our main store in Orlando. It has the biggest variety of stock and has the most things in stock at that time too. Whereas we know that, Walmart might be a few pennies cheaper for some items, but they're just never in stock. Orlando is so busy that we would go to Walmart first and then have to call the guest and say they only had a 30 items. Like, I'm going to have to go to Publix anyway. And so we found the quality of everything. Yeah. It's completely worth it. So we do shop at Publix.
Anyone who comes to Florida knows. I mean,
yes, and loves Publix too.
Publix stock.
We like their cupcakes.
I was just going to say, I love their cupcakes.
The big thing has been the platters. The platters that Publix has it's truly it's a great deal. There's great stuff.
Yeah, I saw a picture the other day that you guys posted of the platters and stuff like that. Like, if you've got a family of 5 coming down and you just want some munchies in the room, those platters are amazing.
Yeah, they are a great deal. It really is one of the best sellers. You can get a 10 serving sub platter for $24.99. You are not going to feed your family for less than that. Quick service or packing list, nothing. It is such a good deal, and they're so good. So yeah, it's awesome. There's a lot of cool things that you can order. We've teamed up with some other cast member businesses to offer like baked goods, Mickey Mouse Rice Krispie treats, and we have some other fun things on the pipeline for this year to offer. And yeah, it's just been really cool.
That's so exciting. And you do offer, I'm telling you for everybody listening, you offer alcohol delivery as well.
We sure do. Yes, we are one of the very few vendors that is approved to deliver it to the resorts, that you do not have to be there in person in most cases. Disney resorts, we can leave it at Bell Services at most of them. And so you just select what you want and prepay for the alcohol. We have a great liquor store partner in the area. And then it's all there for your groceries. So you don't have to worry about like waiting on a delivery or anything like that. It's all just there for you.
It's so convenient. Mm-hmm. It's so convenient. And I'm a big proponent of ordering that stuff ahead of time so that you have it when you arrive at the resort, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it is. And especially when you have like, when you're traveling with families or you've just been traveling all day, the last thing you want to do is fight Orlando grocery store crowds, because it is crazy.
Everybody online is always just like, oh, I'll just hop in an Uber and go there and shop myself. And I'm not going to argue with them, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It is crazy. The Walmart in Kissimmee, we have waited just for our own groceries before, like over an hour, like for checkout and to get in and out. And it's just busy. It's awesome. Everybody wants to come to Orlando, but it's really great to be able to offer that service. So it's there. It's one less thing to worry about. We've got Genie Plus to worry about these days. We don't want to worry about our coffee.
Oh my God, you get your dining reservations. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything. There's so much involved. So we're very grateful that we can sort of take one stressor away and have all that covered for you.
And your fee is not like somebody to jump in an Uber and go do this themselves. Aside from the time, the Uber is going to cost them the same as your delivery fee anyway.
Yeah.
If not more.
Those Ubers will run you. I mean, depending on if it's like surge trafficking or anything like that and where you want to go, it'd be $40 to $60 one way.
So, yeah. It doesn't make sense. People should just come to your website, follow your Facebook page, right? Like all of that. It just makes sense. That's absolutely where. And I'll put the link to your website in our show notes so that everybody can easily find it, and your Facebook page too, because it's important to follow along there too.
Yeah, we'll have to give you guys a promo code too that we'll let you post on there, so everybody can get a little something with their order. We'll think of something fun.
Well, that would be nice. That would be fun.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. It was so fabulous getting to meet you guys and talk with you. I mean, it's just, I love your story. And I think, we would love to have you back on the podcast again to talk, because we could talk to you for hours. We literally.
Well, we have to have one just of cats, so it will be the cat show.
Oh my gosh.
Every Disney cat, every cat we've ever fostered.
You could just bring your cats and you could just show me, you pick them up and be like, this is Fluffy. And I'll be like,
have an episode where just our cats talk and we'll just narrate. It'll be great.
Oh my goodness, look at that sweet baby.
But thank you so much for having us too. It's great to sort of share the story, especially being a small business. It's not easy to get the word out there, and especially, and with a great group of people that really align with, the same values and mission and loving Disney and cast members and everything. So it's really great.
And we know the competition's out there. We know it's very easy to, come there and just say like, oh, I'll just do Amazon. Oh, I'll just do Walmart. Mm-hmm. But really, for anyone listening out there, the best thing I can recommend is just that pick a local company. Even if it's not us,
find a local
company. Not only are you supporting like a local business, but these people are truly the ones that care about you. And it's like, if something messes up, or anything, the stories we get constantly of just like, hey, I ordered Walmart, the order got canceled, or it never showed up, or we wanted protein bars and they substituted Cadbury chocolate.
My baby formula is missing. Things that cannot go wrong.
That, like I said, even if it's not us, only a local company is really going to care about making sure that your vacation goes the way that you want it to.
We do.
The last thing you want to worry about is, do you have the right kind of food that you want to eat. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. You know what? It would be fun to do an episode about what the craziest things are that have been ordered.
We've got some fun ones. We'll make a list and we'll come back to that one for sure.
And how many days in advance should people order?
We usually are booking up right now, 2 to 3 weeks in advance, because we do book up every day. But you can reserve your date with just putting one item in your cart and then add the rest later. So a lot of our guests like to just add that case of water, check out, and then you'll be emailed instructions on how to add to it. So you can build it over time, talk to the rest of your family, things like that. So it's very easy to just reserve the date in advance.
That makes sense. Okay.
That was a tip. That was
a good tip. Yeah. Okay, Carrie, we're at that part of the podcast. So this is the part where we get to ask you something that brought you pixie dust this week, brought you joy, made you happy. So Jessica and Landon, what brought you pixie dust this week?
Okay, the minute I saw that was going to be a question, I got so excited. He's over here thinking so hard, but the answer is so obvious. We just moved, and there is a great little hole in the wall Mexican restaurant, like 2 minutes from our house, and we've lived in this new place for like a week, and we have been 3 times already. It's affordable. It's a little local place that it's like probably doesn't show up on the map, and it has brought us so much joy. We work a long day, and then we get to go and have our chips and salsa, and it's been great.
So good. I like
so good.
So I know it's a cheeky little one, but
I think that's
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, so that's ours for sure.
We had someone leave us like a very, very nice review.
That's true.
That we posted it on our Facebook. I mean,
that was a really nice little magical. That definitely, filled our hearts this week too, for sure.
Reviews make such a difference. Don't see reviews. We always forget to ask for them on the podcast, but yes, they make such a good.
Yeah,
they really do. And even if you don't leave a review, just even dropping a nice note. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah,
because all business owners work very hard.
Yeah.
Like I said, even if it's not us, I mean, we're all out there giving our everything.
Oh, for sure. Awesome. And the Mexican restaurant, you'll have to let me know the name of it, and I can put that in the show notes so we can give them a shout out.
When you come down, we'll take you. It's on us.
That'll be a private one because like I said, it's small. We don't want them to get too popular.
Want them to know us. We
do. We want to become the locals that are there. They know every Wednesday, Jessica and Landon are coming in for their chips and salsa and everything. So
that's so fun. Awesome.
That's very cool.
Carrie, what's your pixie dust this week? I forgot to ask you before we started if you had any.
I do know. My pixie dust is that I found my mic stand.
Oh my gosh.
Because the other one was breaking, and every time I went to go touch it, it fell on the floor. And then every time it fell on the floor right after we were done recording, Fran's like, thank goodness it didn't happen while we were recording. So then I was trying to find this dang mic stand, and I saw it somewhere, and I knew it was somewhere, but I couldn't remember. So I've been looking for days for this mic stand, and last night, lo and behold, I found it. And it was very
That's amazing.
Joy that I found it. And it was really somewhere obvious, but I forgot that it was there.
You put it in a safe place.
I put it in a safe place. And I think in my head, I thought it was maybe a little bit bigger because it was in a really small place. And I was like,
that's fair.
Yeah. That's where maybe in my mind I was looking in places thinking, well, it's got to be it's got to be bigger, but it's just a little baby stand. It's just a little baby right there. So, anyways. Joy.
There you go.
What about you, Fran? What's your pixie dust?
My pixie dust this week is I happened to find on CTV, so it's Canadian television. They have throwbacks. So a while ago, I found some old.
CBC is Canadian television.
Well, what's CTV?
Oh, is CTV Canadian too?
It's Canadian television. I think that's what it stands for.
It is. I thought for a minute I was thinking like CBS or whatever. Not the
CBS
Canadian broad.
Is Canadian too.
Yeah, the Canadian.
I thought BBC was Canadian.
CBC is Canadian. CTV is a Canadian television. You're right.
Sorry. Oh my goodness!
I recognize the Queen, or rest her soul, I guess.
Yeah. So on CTV, they have old shows like from the 80s. which are, important to me in my age bracket. But I found this old sitcom that I used to love watching in the 80s. And they have it on reruns called Who's the Boss? You may not have heard of it, but Carrie will know who that is. Tony Danza, Judith Light. It was such a great show.
Tony Maselli.
And I forgot how funny it was. Like, so I've been watching that. So it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh out loud when I watch it.
It's on CTV?
That's amazing.
Yeah, on CTV On Demand, on the streaming part of CTV. So, yeah, see? There you go. That's what brings me joy.
That's awesome.
This has been so much fun getting to meet you guys. And I'm so happy to hear that you're going on vacation. So enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We're excited. Like I said, we'll be just as excited to come back into work, but we're very excited. And thank you so much for having us. This was so much fun. Like I said, we're starstruck because we love, everything that you guys do too. So this has been awesome.
Oh, thank you. And we will have you back on again. Make your list of fun things.
Funny,
some fun delivery stories. And we will make sure. So vacation grocery delivery FL.com. And I'll put that in the show notes so everyone can find you and start booking up their orders.
Tell your friends.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you guys. Hopefully we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.